Hello there. If you like truth, you'll like it here. Welcome. Dr. Hellish is an embarrassment to Black, educated, professional women everywhere, and is proof that educated fools do exist. Full disclosure, God is funny. This piece that I am about to get into was written long ago. In all honesty, I never cared for Dr. Hellish. She has always been loud and common, and her education has always felt surprising, as it seems contrary to her low-level status. She comes across as internally low class, despite having an above-level education and likely the earnings to match. Still, this was written a while ago, with no real definitive plans on when or if to release. They were just my thoughts, and they weren't unfamiliar thoughts to my online family, because I shared in an older video how I felt about her, when I mentioned that I refused to call her heavenly and would instead call her hellish. Then, either Saturday or Sunday evening, something told me that I should get this piece ready now. I bucked at that, because, quite frankly, I had other more interesting things I wanted to talk about, and talking about a middle-aged bully who is too old to act the way she does was not on my radar. I scheduled it for Tuesday, March 5th, and went about my business. Lo and behold, I awake on Monday, March 4th, to learn that Dr. Hellish has been required to step down from her YouTube show. I chuckled at the timing. You see, I think the lesson here for us all is that God doesn't like ugly. Even when it looks like the person or people who are living and or acting recklessly are getting away with it, they are not. Think Portia with her Weasley moving in on another woman's husband and lifestyle, only to find that it wasn't all she thought it was, or all that it seemed cracked up to be. Or Martell Holt's mistress and baby mama, who thought she was getting a prize in the form of her baby daddy, but only wound up offloading Melody's trash. As I said in my video about Portia, we may not see them get their due, but they're getting it, or they will. Dr. Hellish is a prime example. Also, since I made this, not only has somebody somewhere finally gotten sick of her nasty mouth and ways, and thus shut down her ability to pass her venom on to others, I've heard she has also closed down a business I never knew she had. Good. God doesn't like ugly, and he will limit or remove blessings from those who operate in a way unbefitting the favor he bestowed on them. I always draw comfort from this. It makes me remember to not get weary in well-doing, even when it is tough to do or when it doesn't appear to pay off. It does, and will. I hope that knowledge helps someone who is on the verge of giving up and or doing what everyone else does, since they don't feel like what they're doing, especially doing it the right way, is worth it or paying off. Don't be a part of the herd. Stand out and stay the course. I don't know who that message was for, but again, stay the course. Now, on to the video. Dr. Hellish is gross. Her nasty mouth is only rivaled by that evil eye she has. What the heck is that, by the way? To me, it looks like the very evil that she is bottled up and revealed in that nasty blackish eyeball that she rolls at everyone like she's stuck being a fat 12-year-old who nobody likes. So since she expects they'll insult and reject her, she insults and rejects them first. Except she's not 12 anymore. But back to the eye. It literally looks evil, like the mark of the beast. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Dr. Hellish is an unattractive woman, inside and out. She's got the self-esteem of a dry sill and is built like a dented can of spinach. You can see that she feels bad about herself, so she projects that self-hatred outward. She has a nasty mouth and a nasty personality and disposition. And although I think she wants people to look at her husband as a good guy, he just comes across as a browbeaten, emotionally checked out shell of a man, who appears so grateful that she isn't railing on him that he doesn't step in when she's railing on someone else. I hope y'all don't think that nastiness she's full of ends at home, that she takes it off and leaves it on the porch, as one would a pair of dirty shoes before they step in the house. No. That kind of nasty doesn't come off. It is within. It emanates from her pores. having been loaded up as a defense against her own sense of unworthiness and lack of attractiveness. Her education was probably also something she hid behind. It was a tool that she could use to garner the respect from others that she couldn't give herself. But it doesn't hide her ugliness. And even she knows that it isn't enough to knock over her cup of self-hatred. That's why her nastiness shines through. The degree was supposed to make the pig look prettier, but all it did was make the pig look like a pig with a degree. As a matter of fact, her behavior lessens the status of the degree, and I believe she knows that. And unless her husband is deaf, dumb, and blind, I believe he knows it too. I believe both she and her husband and their kids are embarrassed by her. But there's more. I believe professional, educated, classy, intelligent women everywhere are embarrassed by her. But the person most embarrassed is probably her. So she gets even nastier to others to hide how nasty she is to herself. I believe she looks in the mirror and sees past the makeup, the false eyelashes, the wigs. I think she sees past the degree and sees the truth. That she's still an unattractive little girl no one ever really liked, let alone loved. I think that's why she self-admittedly trapped her husband. I believe she thought that was the only way to ensure he'd stay. I believe she knew her love and adoration of him wouldn't be enough. She likely thought some other woman, a better woman, would come along and her husband would leave. So she pulled a gutter rat move and got pregnant to secure the man. Because she needed the baby to make the sale. She couldn't do it alone. I don't know if Dr. Hellish has fans or not. Considering how nasty she is and how that type of negative behavior draws more attention than its opposite, she probably has quite a few. And if she does, I'd like to know what they see. What is so fascinating, intriguing, or attention-getting about an overweight, middle-aged, bestial bully of a woman who serves up disgusting behavior as a normal pattern of interaction? If she feels bad about herself, that could have elicited sympathy. If she didn't also act like someone who should feel bad about herself. I wonder why these types of women always seem to have daughters, and what their daughters think of them. How sad must it be to have the world know how ghetto and trashy your mom is? The daughter has likely known all her life, but now the rest of the world gets to see it. I'll bet her sons are going to bring home women who are total opposites of their mom. I mean, wouldn't you? Who would want to live with such a hellion throughout their life only to continue the torment with a wife? On their own and out of the house is probably the most peace her children have ever had. The only problem is that it leaves her husband alone to deal with that caged animal, which is why he lets her act like a literal bull in a china shop. Because when she's running around calling her TV show colleagues pedophiles and starting fights with women who are prettier and more successful than she is, then she's at least preoccupied and out of his hair. A man that loves a woman would tell her how she comes across and that her garish ways aren't cute. But this isn't a man that loves a woman. This is a man that's been proverbially beaten into submission by his mean and overbearing wife. So he's figured it's either them being verbally abused and tormented by her, allegedly and in my opinion, or it's me. And I think he'd prefer it be them. That's why she pushes others to put some respect on her husband's name. It's to make up for the fact that she doesn't. All in all, I see through Dr. Hellish. And what I see mostly is that she dishonors the degree she holds. She is also proof that educated fools do exist and that neither an education nor money buys class. This is a woman likely living in a mansion, but possessing the insides of a broken down home on stilts. Her things and belongings and material successes don't mask the smell of the pig she knows she is. Dirty and gutter is Dr. Hellish's communication style, and I believe those in her home get it worse. Which I guess isn't surprising, as dentists boast the highest rate of suicide among white-collar health professionals at 7.18% versus less than 0.5% among the general population. In addition to that, nearly 25% of dentists report struggling with depression. I think Dr. Hellish needs some professional help, in my opinion. It certainly couldn't hurt. I think it might help her redirect some of that unhappiness, low self-esteem, and lack of civility towards a positive source. but she can't keep beating on castmates and others when she takes breaks from beating on herself. Something's gotta give. And hopefully with her YouTube show canceled, she has some time to sit down and get herself together. All right, y'all. That's it, and that's all. Hello there. If you like truth, you'll like it here. Welcome. If you don't, or if you believe in groupthink, or bullying others into believing the popular opinion, then this isn't the place for you. So go ahead and just cancel me now. On this channel, we don't discuss my truth or your truth. We discuss the truth, and no topic is off limits. So, log in, like, subscribe, get comfy, and comment. It's nice to have you here. So let's talk.